Happy anniversary!
Why did you make it sound spooky? It's foggy, I guess.
And rainy.
And rainy.
Yeah.
And that sums up what his wedding was. So yeah, happy anniversary.
And as a special mini episode that we thought we'd do, we've just come out from watching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour
Woo!
concert on film on this big screen.
Yep, we did. Done it. It's a shame we can't go see it in person.
Yeah, this was the next best thing to do, really. So this is going to be very off the cuff and
very not edited, and there's rain in the background and cars driving past. Hey ho.
Hey ho, there we go. So, was it a good experience overall?
It was rubbish. I hated every second of it. No, it was fantastic. I feel like we went to the showcase, obviously, because it's just no, yeah, and it's comfy and it's brilliant. And I don't know, I feel like people make it as well in these kind of environments within a cinema that you go to. And we did have quite a good little crowd, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect from it, really. If people were just going to sit in the seats silently or whatever, all that. But some people did actually get up and dance and sing along and stuff. But it wasn't like what I might have expected from like a true American audience, where they'd be like everybody would the place would be crammed, because it wasn't completely packed out. There's quite a lot of empty seats for the showing that we saw. But
I think that's just because obviously we've come, and it's more like at the back end of when it's been first released out, been out for a couple of weeks now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But overall, just the whole era of Taylor Swift, I don't think there was one song I didn't know, which surprised me. Whereas
for me, it was kind of like, I didn't know. Particularly ones that were from the very recent years as such. But it's
weird, because I feel like you were a true Swiftie before me. And I think I've done a lot of backwards work.
Only from Red onwards.
Whereas more...
prior to that, it wasn't really at all.
But mine's more like 1989. Like, that was like my favourite album, which has just come out this Friday. Last Friday. Yeah. And I think that was when I really started. And then I backtracked to Red because you said you liked Red so much.
All right, okay.
And then from Red, I just went backwards. So I'm not what people would probably not class me as a hardcore Swiftie, from the beginning.
Yeah.
But to be fair, everything I knew. My favourite sets, I would say, Evermore and Folklore were my two favourite ones. Marjorie made me cry.
When you said that, it did make because I don't know that one. I know of it, but I don't know the song that well. But then listening to it, and when you said about it, it's I can understand listening to it and listen to the lyrics and taking it in a bit more. Did hit me hard. I think Champagne Problems, when she was doing it on the Moss piano. And playing that, and it kind of like that melancholy kind of feel to it.
I think as well with, obviously, she's with Folklore and Evermore, she did it in lockdown. She obviously had relationship problems then. You can kind of read that into some of the lyrics. Even though you think when they were first released, they were just like stories that she'd made up.
Yeah.
But they're kind of fitting to how she delivers them. And I think the way that she performs, her facial expressions are amazing. Like, what she does in that, like, the way that she's like Champagne Problems, and you can see
certain bits.
And the winking and
it's easier to capture that on the medium of this, whereas if you might not really see it if you're up in the nosebleeds at the normal concert.
Oh, you miss
you might,
a moment like when we went to the Weekend and we were taking a picture, and then he took his mask off and we missed the main part
of it. So
it's one of those things where it is a nicer experience
in a sense, because also you got you don't have to be standing up the whole time. You can just sit down wherever you want. If you want to stand up and sing along, you can. Pretty much, really, the whole aspect of what this offers to people who can't necessarily, I can't afford to go and see her, or get the time, whatever. It's a convenient sort of way of doing it, and still embracing what the show offers.
100%. And to be fair, obviously she's in such popular demand. Them tickets went off like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be on a special waiting list to even get into getting a ticket. you were one of those lucky ones, whereas then she's giving it to everyone who's missed out or has already been to the concert and then wants to relive it again. You know, they've got the option there. I love the fact that it only costs $19.89.
Yeah.
You know, there's just these subtle little things that she does that are so cleverly thought out, and I think that's why I love her as an artist. She's just iconic in everything she does and everything she
all the songs that she does and everything, all the ones that you know her for, really, for obviously like chart stuff, the bangers as you would maybe call them.
Do you know she didn't do Cardigan, which was
surprised. There are some of the tracks that I as personally like, I wish she'd done that instead of that song, but you can't have it all, you know. There's only so many. It is a long concert, don't get me wrong, but you can only cram so many songs into that. You could feel like, I just want you to play your entire catalogue, and and be like, pay the money for it. But
but to be fair, I think what I love about her is she's just, when you look at her, she's a normal human being. Like, her hair was getting curly at the end. You know, she was just. Even though she was dressed up, she wasn't looking absolutely perfect. And I think that's such a good role model as for her, being younger kids looking up to her. It's like, okay, you don't have to be, you know, perfect all the time. And I think her lyrics tell you all of this. Exactly. And I think that's why she's so amazing and so powerful as a human being. And yeah, it was just brilliant. I loved every minute of it. Got a numb bum after a bit. Did a lot of clapping and singing, and
other people clapped along, as I say, like, get involved. But no, we weren't all up on the floor.
No, I think there was a lot of teens in ours, which was lovely to see, but I think it'd have been a bit weird if I'd have dragged Paul down to dance with them. So maybe if I was with my sister, then I would have done. Yeah,
because it was like me and one other guy, I think, in the maybe he was dragged along with this. But unironically, I did enjoy the show, and I mean, if you like her music and everything, then I'd recommend you go see it if you're not going to the concert.
Yeah, because obviously in the UK it still hasn't come in, so I can appreciate people might not want to go see it because it's like, it's spoilers. I'm seeing some that I've paid a lot more money to see in real life.
That's true.
So obviously people might not want to do that if they have got tickets, but if you haven't, then this is the next closest thing to it. Yeah. And it's, like you said, it's cheaper. You get comfier seats. Depends on if you sat indoors or outdoors. Depending on the weather. At least you're in the cinema where it is.
True, yeah. No worry about that. No worries about parking and getting back overnight. You just go back home, whatever, yeah.
The only thing is, obviously, where we were, I did look. I don't think we had any of the merchandise cups or anything. But I think probably that's first come, first served.
Yeah, probably on the first week it came out, maybe.
And also
certain other places, maybe.
Depending on what cinema you've gone to. It depends on what merch they've got. But overall, I think fantastic. I think my favourite sets, Midnight was brilliant.
The entire part of it, or just
the
song?
Even Vigilante shit, which I don't actually like. I proper enjoyed her performance of it, and it's actually made me appreciate it more.
Yeah, like say, using those visuals to make a statement with the song as such. So, you know, the performance of it all adds to it and puts a new spin on things, really.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to just appreciate the fact that she's doing this for 3 hours. She's on her feet, she's singing, and the production of it, like, when she first comes in and she does Lover, like the sets of the Lover album, the clouds in Midnight, you know, just all these things to make it look like the actual album and that set.
Part of that era, yeah.
Yeah. I know, like, obviously Ed Sheeran's doing the Mathematics tour, but I was just thinking, actually, I've known, like, I remember liking the 22 album, so Red, yeah. And liking some songs off them. And I'm thinking, well, I was 22 when that came out. Right. So nearly, it'll be 10 years that I've liked her music. So that makes it understanding in my head for it to be an era. And for her to do this, and like, she has actually done 5 albums where she hasn't actually toured, because I think Lover, she was about to tour, and then I think COVID hit. Then she obviously did 2 lockdown albums.
Yep.
She didn't do Reputation either. She never did a tour for Reputation.
No, I guess not. No.
And then she obviously did Midnight. So imagine, like, you want to cram it all in. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and focus on those ones sort of a bit more.
Yeah.
Particularly. So, yeah, no, I definitely recommend going and checking it out. If you can. If you're a fan of the music, and you might inspire you to be, oh yeah, I like that song now, or whatever thing. The one song that did make me tear up the most, I guess, would be All Too Well, because I really love that. So that's like I'd said to you, like, I can't believe that when it first came out, this isn't a single, because it's such a good storytelling song. But
I remember you doing a drawing of it as well, like, refrigerator, dancing in the fridge. And I remember not knowing what that song was at that time, and actually going out of my way to know what it was, and appreciating it for then. I've got the red scarf, obviously. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those lovely, it feels like an autumnal fall song, and it's one of those where you just want to sing it for even the 10 minutes that it's on, every little word of it, and scream it.
Yeah, because even back at that point, it wasn't even a 10-minute song, so
no.
Yeah, adds to it a bit more.
But the fact that it is 10 minutes, and everybody's captured in those 10 minutes, and they go so quickly. It's not like, you know, you sat waiting 10 minutes and it drags. It's not like that. No. Like, you put it on and it's... Yeah. And I think that's what's fascinating about her, because everything she does is a story.
Yeah. And
if you listen to it, you can appreciate it and value it. And I sound like my dad now. Oh my God. I promise my future child I won't go, listen to her lyrics, sit down, because that's what my dad used to do to me to David Bowie, and that's why I hate him. But I feel like David Bowie's lyrics never made any bloody sense. At least Taylor's do.
Yeah.
There's a story. You can kind of understand him.
There is. Yeah.
Instead of Ziggy Stardust.
Right, before we go then, do you think, on the principle of what this offers, do you think this opens the doors to, like, what other people might do as, like, concert films?
Yeah.
Like, or like, back catalogue, like something from, like, back in the day, like, remastered in, like, I didn't go to see, I don't know, Rolling Stones or something.
100%. I do know that, just a little bit of a movie thing for you. Obviously, I've done my research. She doesn't have a studio production on this. So, you know, like you would have, I don't know, a big studio that would advertise you and put you out there.
Yeah.
So, like Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah, one of the big, like, Universal,
you
mean? Or...
She has no studio production. So, it's the first film where they haven't had to rely on a studio to publicise this and to get it out there.
That's because they'll know that.
But she's skipped it. She's done a Taylor Swift and gone, nope, I don't need to pay you to put my stuff out there. I can just put it on social media.
Yeah.
And I'm famous enough that everyone will come.
Exactly, yeah.
So actually I can give more money to myself and to everyone else who's made it and created it, and drop out the middleman. Yeah,
cut out that cost of paying the studio for the...
So could other people actually go down that line and where a studio won't take as much money?
Yeah, but if she's compared to, say, like, other artists aren't as well off as her, like, in terms of, like, street cred of stuff, but they'd have to be really...
But like a director, for example. Could a really well-known director go, actually, I'm not going to go with a studio. I'm just going to create a film by myself, publicise it myself and everything. Could it make other filmmakers go down that route where a studio isn't required and taking 50% of the making?
Don't know, it'd be a bit tricky, wouldn't it?
It's interesting. Yeah. It's food for thought, though.
Yeah, it's...
But yeah, definitely think other artists. Ed Sheeran's already jumped on the bandwagon with Mathematics.
You think he'd do?
100%.
He'd do something like this.
He follows every little step she does now, doesn't he? Really, let's be honest. And
he's like the next.
Sounds awful because I'm slagging him off, and I love him to bits, but he did go on tour on the Red Tour with her, didn't he? Yeah. So she did kind of take him under her wing, so to speak. But yeah, 100%. Loads of artists will see this as like a cha-ching, get some extra money in. They don't even have to be there.
That's true, yeah.
There we have it. And if you've actually listened to us all the way through, with the rain, if you can even hear it, if Paul does some magic in the background.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And, you know, as usual, be sure to check out some of our other full-length episodes over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you get podcasts from. thank you to all the patrons for your support, and thank you to everybody who likes our posts and comments on our posts and things like that. Really much appreciated. Hope you can do the same for wishing us a happy anniversary.
Yeah. And obviously, if you do want to follow us, you know where we're at. We're under the handle SP_filmviewers on all of the socials, pretty much out there.
Yep. So, happy anniversary once again, my dear.
Yes. Thank you for putting up with me for a whole year as your wife.
Yep.
I know it's not been easy this year.
No.
Come with some challenges.
Here's to bright future and beyond. Yeah. Alright, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.